All right, we are looking at two-point perspective today. So you can see from the example here, we are now looking at two-point perspective indoors. We're looking at it inside. So I want you to take a moment and look at this artwork. See if you can identify the horizon line. I know there are some mountains in the way, but you can probably see where the land ends and the sky begins. And I want you to also notice the angles of the lines that touch the wall to the ceiling and the wall to the floor. And you might notice that these angles are the opposite as two-point perspective outdoor. So that horizon line is somewhere back here. I know it's a little bit hidden by the mountains. We got the horizon line here. And if we look at our vanishing point on the right side, this time it's lining up with the left wall. So this is going to be flip-flopped from two-point perspective outdoor. And the left vanishing point is lining up with the right wall. So everything today is flip-flopped for two-point perspective indoor. It's going to be a flip-flop from two-point perspective outdoor. So the right side now is aligning with the left, and the left side is aligning with the right. So here are a couple real-world examples. You can see those angles on the floor and the ceiling. Both of these images from indoor perspective. So grab your paper, and we are going to start just as we always do with our horizon line. We're going to put it right near the middle of our page. It's going to be perfect, nice and straight. And then we're going to add those two vanishing points, one on the left and one on the right. Just as we began with our two-point perspective outdoor, we're going to begin with our indoor. We're going to start with that corner. But this time, the corner is the inside corner of the room rather than the outside corner of the building. So go ahead and get that corner. Line up your ruler nice and straight up and down. So use the bottom or top of your paper to align your ruler nice and straight. This is going to be the back corner of the room. Now remember, we are using the opposite vanishing point for the wall. So the wall on the left is aligning with the right vanishing point. Wall on the right is aligning with the left vanishing point. So let's do this. Line up your ruler. We don't need this part. We don't need the part that's leading up to the corner. We actually need the part that goes off the page. And this tends to be tricky for people. So make sure you keep your ruler straight. Line it up with the vanishing point. Line it up with the top of that corner that you drew. And then have it go off the page. Don't let this angle change at all. Lots of times people make a mistake. They have their ruler going, and then all of a sudden it does something funny here, like it goes up or something. Just double check yours and make sure it stays in the same angle all the way down to that vanishing point. And then again, left side, same thing. This is not the line we're going to keep, so mine's just dotted. Yours can just be light or however you want to do it. And then make sure the ruler doesn't wiggle on you at all and have that line go all the way off the page. Okay? Again, this is where people tend to change the angle all of a sudden. The angle of the ruler needs to align perfectly with the vanishing point, okay? Don't let something funny happen to your ruler where it gives you a different angle all of a sudden. So double check that once you got it. And then we're doing the same thing on the bottom. Line up your ruler with the bottom and your vanishing point on the right. And remember, the side that we're going to keep the line is on the left, all the way off the page. Left vanishing point, the part that we're going to keep of that line is on the right, going all the way off the page. So take a moment and double check your lines. Double check and make sure that your line for the top ceiling lines up perfectly with your vanishing points, and your lines for the bottom floor line up perfectly with your vanishing points. Make sure they don't do any kind of a funny kind of different angle. And yours is going to maybe look different than mine depending on how tall your corner of your room is, and that's okay. I actually wish I had a little bit more floor space down here. So if you have a little bit more space on your floor, that's going to work out pretty perfect, because I end up adding a little space to my floor at the end of this slide, at the end of the slideshow. So if you have a little bit more space on your floor, that's going to be great. All right, clean up those walls so that we are not looking at a big old mess here. And this is going to help us out. So clean up, if you didn't draw, you know, if you did the dotted line, erase it. If you did the light line, erase it. So we've got a nice clean wall here. All right. So this is going to go away. These little pink dotted lines are going to go away. And pause this video as you need, as you're working. Just give it a pause whenever I'm moving too quick. All right, we're going to add a window. Okay. We're adding the window on the right side. And you remember the right side lines up with the left vanishing point. So put that ruler up to that left vanishing point and make the top of your window on the right side. So it's going to follow the same angle that the ceiling and the floor do. Okay, so this is for the top and the bottom. And depending on where you put your window, the angle is going to be different, right? Because once we hit the horizon line, it's going to be straight. Once we go up, it's going to kind of curve, it's going to kind of angle down. And once we go down, it's going to kind of angle up toward that vanishing point, right? So depending on where how high or how low your window is, it might look different than mine. If you want yours to look exactly like mine, make sure the top of your window is above your horizon line and the bottom of your window is below the horizon line. So if you want your window to just look exactly like mine, top of your window is above the above the horizon line, and that's going to be a similar angle to the top of your ceiling. And the bottom of your window is going to be below your horizon line, and that's going to be kind of a similar angle as your floor. Now, the left and right side of the windows are just going to be straight up and down. So line up your ruler with the bottom or top of your page to make your window straight up and down on the left, straight up and down on the right. And we're going to get rid of these extra little dotted lines if yours were dotted or just really light. You can clean those up. And then you will see we have a beautiful window on the right side of our wall. Now on the left side, on the left wall, we're going to add a door. Okay, so left side aligns with the right vanishing point. So the top of the door, line it up way over here with the right vanishing point. Left wall, right vanishing point. The bottom of your door, guess what? It's going to go all the way to the floor. So don't worry about it. Just get the left and right sides straight up and down with your ruler for the door. So line up your ruler with the bottom of your page for the left and right sides of your door. Left side aligning with right vanishing point. And again, pause this video, rewind it however you need as you're working. All right, here's where I give myself a little bit more room because we're going to put a box on the floor. It's going to be our last thing. We're going to put a box on the floor. So I just extended my page down a little bit. If you need a little bit more room, add another piece of paper, you know, tape a piece of paper onto your paper. It's kind of like what I did. So we're going to add a box. And let's start with the corner. We love starting with corners, don't we? So this is the corner of the box that's going to be closest to me. Okay, and I'm putting it on the floor. So give yourself a little line on the floor. This is the corner of your box. And the box is just sitting on the floor. Now, the rules for this one are going to follow the 2-point outdoor. Okay? So we're going back to right with right, left with left. So if you hated everything we did so far, you're gonna love going back to the good old right with right, left with left. So my top of my box, I'm aligning with my right vanishing point. I can keep it a light line because my box isn't going to go all the way into my window. That'd be crazy. Top and bottom on the right to the right. Top and bottom on the left to the left, just how we like it. And you can see my lines got dotted once I hit the wall. I don't want my box to go into my wall, so I made mine a dotted line once the bottom of my box hit that wall. So I'll show you when I draw my straight up and down lines, defining the left and right side. I line up the bottom of my ruler with the bottom of my page, and I make sure that I don't let my box go into my wall. So I lined it up where my box hits my floor, where it hits the wall and the floor. So that's how wide I made mine. You can make yours a little bit more small, whatever you're feeling. But I made mine go all the way to the wall by lining up my ruler where my floor meets the bottom of my box. So right here, my bottom of my box meets my wall. So I made that line there. Here, bottom of my box meets my wall, so I made my line there. Yours can be as wide or as narrow as you want. You just don't probably want to be too wide that it's going into your wall because then it'll look weird. All right. Now is where we're doing the flip-flop again, okay? So now left with left, or left with right, right with left, okay? So this is the right side of the box. Now the right side is going to align with the left and the left with the right, okay? So take my ruler, my corner of my box on the right is aligning with my vanishing point on the left. My corner of my box on the left is aligning with my vanishing point on the right. So left with right, right with left, and where they overlap is the back of the box. Doesn't that look nice? Clean it up, and you have a box in a room. You can go ahead and turn it into whatever you want. You can add some color, you can do whatever you're feeling, or you can just leave it a plain room. That's fine. But now you've done 2-point perspective indoor, and you've made a box. Nice job. Take a photo of this when you're done and add it to the assignment for today.